So welcome everybody. It's a beautiful, beautiful evening here in Michiana, especially for February. The fact that it's like still, I think 50 even degrees or something like that right now is crazy to think. And I would imagine some of the rest of the country is feeling that as well. I'm going to mute us real quick, and then I'll have people unmute as we go. Very good. So welcome to the Go Team Coach Call for, what day is today? It is the 20th, right? And actually tomorrow's my daughter's 18th birthday, so she's going to be 18. I'm excited for that. That's kind of cool. I want to share with you my screen as we get started here. There it is. And bam. Let me know if you can see that. Everybody, can y'all see my screen? Give me a thumbs up. Very good. Awesome. Okay, so Go Team, you guys, I'm just so stinking proud of what you're doing. We'll get to that in a second. But if this is your case, if you've ever struggled, felt rejected, had someone quit, had someone say they were going to do something and then not do it, got let down, got frustrated, got a person some success and then they fall off the wagon. Have you ever felt like that? Like the thing is like, man, is it really even worth it? Is it worth it? I just want to remember, first of all, that we are with you because everybody needs a tribe, right? Can I get an amen to that? Come on, man. Everybody needs a tribe because, guys, it's so critical when you're going through life, and especially when you're breaking into new ground. Whether it's breaking into fitness or breaking into coaching or doing things that are like outside of your comfort zone. Can you guys realize that? That what we're doing here as coaching is constantly pushing us out of our comfort zone. Seriously. Like, can you not agree to that? I mean, you would be like crazy unless you're just not doing anything, then you're not getting out of your comfort zone. But if you're doing anything in coaching and working your business at all, you're getting uncomfortable. And you need a tribe for that. And that's what the Go Team is for. So, guys, really excited that we are to be here for you for that. As 2017, as we're pushing towards this elite goal, the idea of being elite is really to be a team. This is not to brag. This is not to be able to go, oh, we're so much better than everybody else. But what it is to do is to be a kind of a calling card for our team that says, hey, guys, we're part of a team that's actually doing some things because truthfully, I'm going to give you this next statistic. There are a lot of teams in Beachbody that aren't doing things as it relates to helping people, okay? And really, guys, success in the business is just a sign of you helping more people. And the cool thing is that as you are, as you add more value to more people, you get paid more, which is kind of a cool thing, okay? So, news to everybody. I'm not sure if you've heard this. I did announce it earlier last week. But out of 400,000 teams in Beachbody, 400,000 teams, check out where we are. 182nd. 182nd. That puts us in easily the top 1% of all Beachbody teams. Top 1%, kids. Okay? So I want to just say, you're doing some great things. And you may think, oh, it's been a rough week, or oh, I'm not doing as much as so-and-so, or I wish I was blah, 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 and so-and-so didn't follow through and whatever. Okay, let's just let that be. And let's just celebrate for a second on the fact that right now we are in the spot of 182 out of 400,000 plus. And that's actually low, because there's more than that. Now, active of that, I'm not sure. It's probably not quite that many, but of all the potential teams, that is where it's at, guys. Okay? So just got to say way to go. Way to go. And that's awesome. So I'm going to have us all cheer for ourselves. Are you guys ready? I'm going to unmute you in 2 seconds if I can find the spot. Here we go. Unmute. We're going to cheer for ourselves. Ready? 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yay! Awesome.
I want that guy, like the guy in the yes guy. Yes. A little gif. Okay, anyway, there it is. All right, so that's that. Very good, guys. So proud of you, and I love to celebrate that. Seriously, when I saw it, I was like, what? That's crazy. And I know you go, oh, it's 180 seconds. It's so seriously, out of 4 of them? Seriously, come on. Okay. Go Team exists to equip and inspire busy coaches with the essentials to build freedom-bringing businesses, help people achieve their goals and live healthy, fulfilling lives. Always want to keep that in front of us. Equip, inspire with the essentials. Equip, inspire with the essentials. That's our job as the Go Team, to equip and inspire with the essentials. That's how it rolls, okay? We try to do our best to keep it trim and lean and mean and a fighting machine. Very good. So I want to give a shout out to the new coaches who are on the call. Oh, we got lots today, people, some new creeps. So not all are able to be on the call, so they might see the recording. So that's all good. But we want to, I did see this beautiful lady, Linda, who comes to us from the sunny land of North Carolina, which is great. So Linda Campo, who is with us, also known as Russ Linda Campo, if you see on Facebook, trying to get them to actually separate those accounts. But it's okay, Linda, we still love you. But anyway, so we're so happy that you've joined us, which is great. Jackie Weaver wasn't able to make it on tonight's call, but she is super excited to be joining us. She has a Bible study that goes tonight. This is the final week of that, so hopefully she'll be joining us in next month after the sneak peek, which is next week. Okay. Quick shout out to new coach of Stacy Reeds, Lara. I don't remember her last name, so sorry it's not on the picture, but Lara, welcome. Lara, I don't know how you say it, but that's really, really great. Brandy, do you want to welcome this lady to the team? If you can turn your sound on real quick, my lady.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
We can. It's our first time for Brandy on the call. Woohoo! Brandy's got Wi-Fi.
About time. So anyway, yeah, this is Tara. She works with me at a school in South Bend, and she's our social worker, and she just decided to go ahead and sign on as a coach. Initially, I think she wants to be more of a discount coach right now, but definitely looking forward in the future to being more. So I'm really excited to have her on the team.
Oh, that's so great. Fantastic. Good stuff. Claire, I'm you next. Here's this girl. Sorry to say, Jenny, you look like you could be my daughter's age, which is crazy. But anyway, so go ahead. That's really amazing. I was like, wait, is this a high school or no? Okay, so go ahead. So Jenny.
Oh, sorry, I didn't unmute. Oh, yeah, Jenny. She's a great gal. I just met her this year, and she's my daughter. So, yeah, she's a great gal, and I'm excited to have her. So, great. Jenny, if you're listening after the recording, yay you.
Yay you. Awesome. So, Jenny, welcome to the Go Team. Happy to have you part of us. So that's really, really good stuff. All right, we're going to move on to some recognition at this next point here. Here we go. Success Club. Oops, these are a little bit cockeyed. I didn't actually finish this part of this slide. But here we go. So guess who's on first place right now with the Go Team? That would be Miss Kelsey Combs. We got to give it up for Kelsey right now. So ready? I'm going to unmute you once again because dang, holy schmoly, y'all. Go. Woo! Sure.
Fit runners.
Way to go.
All right, I was just beatboxing. All right, gonna be back. So wow, totally tearing it up, Miss Combs. We're gonna talk to you in just a second, actually, about how you're tearing it up, which is great. And actually, that's gonna be probably more, just so you guys all know. She's got a few more. And what? Oh, Brandy. So sorry, I did not finish this slide. So Brandy comes up. Watch, everybody. This is going to be like in real time amazingness. See how cool this is? Watch. Whoop. Hey, there she is. Brandy hits up into the top, to the top category with hitting for the first time, which is very exciting for her. Success Club 10. So let's all hear it for Brandy. Can we do it? 1, 2, 3.
Brandy. Way to go, girl.
Oh my God. Look at all these, like, breaking down barriers. both of these gals, particularly, I remember both of them saying, I don't know if I'm ever going to make it to Success Club 4 or 5, or I'm not even get my first person. But now, like, wait, I'm at Success Club 20 plus and 10 plus. Man, and there's still time left in the month. Crazy. We're only like what? We're still got another 8 days left of the month, which is crazy. So really, really good stuff. And so quick shout out for that. So that's great. You can see, hold on, continue. Very good. So you can see there's Brandy. So awesome. Good job, Brandy. Good stuff. So some of you are kind of curious. You asked me, well, Dan, you put this slide up each week. What doth it mean? What does this slide mean? Or you put it up in, and I post it on my timeline. Guys, I want to be clear as to how this whole business thing works. So what this is, last week we covered. So if you didn't catch last week's call, you might want to check this out about volume. Okay? So this slide is different than Success Club. And the reason why this slide is different than Success Club is because Success Club is more of the retail side of what we do. Okay? That's where you're earning money based on actual sales that you sell to first time or to your customers, or if you sign up a coach, like first time, like their final purchase before they become a coach. Okay? That's what Success Club is. But what this slide talks about is, now technically, I stopped putting the numbers down because kind of whatever, I just don't want people to like get caught up in like what the actual number, because it really, outside of our sphere, it doesn't mean a whole lot. So potentially what I could do even for our calls is I could even put those numbers on. But here's the deal. As it relates to these people, they are getting residual income built into them as they are building their teams. Now, past Emerald. Now, the only exception right now is like everybody, when you hit Emerald is when you start to really generate that extra income. That's why it's so critical to hit Emerald so you're not leaving volume out there, okay? So these people are all in the volume place where they're earning residual income if they're Emerald and above, okay? That's how it hits. And so you're getting residual income built. And that's why it's so critical for me to point this out, because guys, truthfully, you can sell all the challenge packs you want, but if you aren't continually helping people to take next steps in their fitness journeys and keeping them on track, keeping them moving, ultimately your business is going to kind of do this, because they're not going to keep ordering, which is part of the whole effectiveness of this business. So it's the dual function. Keeping them healthy, having them be healthy, and then ultimately helping you build your business. Okay? Just so we can kind of be clear on that, what this slide means. Any quick questions on that? I know there might be some questions. If you've got a ton, we can deal with that, but also make sure we refer back to last week's call if you do have questions about volume. Okay? And those calls are located in the file section. We are actually Stacy is building the vault as we speak. She promised me this is happening. The vault will be available on mycoachhq.com, which we'll have our team calls all there. We'll post it every week, so you'll know where you can access those. Really simple. Okay? Very good stuff. Still be linked to YouTube, by the way. All right, Kelsey, I'm going to have you come on the line real quick here, because this girl is on fire, fire, fire. This girl is on fire. I'm pretty much, yeah? Okay. Maybe not.
I take you seriously with this hat on.
I know, seriously, it's amazing. I'll go backwards with it. This is actually Kelsey's hat, so it's kind of gross when I'm wearing it. At least I'm not sweating though. So Kelsey, it's been a good month for you.
Yes, it has.
Yes, let's talk real quick. Why? Why do you think things are starting to come together for you now? What would you say is, as you kind of, because I asked you before, like, to think about this a little bit of like, okay, you know, what's the reasoning behind this besides God's fortunate hand upon you that's bringing people into your midst, which could be certainly part of it. But what else? What kind of things can you start to point to towards success and why you're experiencing such?
I feel like the biggest thing is I'm getting a lot more out of my comfort zone with with messaging people and building relationships and adding value to posts and actually telling my story and not being scared of what others are going to think of me.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I think those are the biggest things. Once I've started building those relationships and not being nervous about people's opinions, it really changed a lot.
Yeah. Because remember we've talked in the past about posture, right? We've talked about the posture that you take. And if you're like, if people can sense it, guys. I think it's just this innate, people aren't necessarily like students of fitness or students of how great of a salesperson you are, but they are students of human behavior. And if you start to be, if there's any sense of like defensive, even the way you just word things, if you're typing or if you're talking to them or things like that, they can sense it. They're going to go, whoop, the walls go up and we're done. Right. And I think that's a good thing. So Kels, as it relates to telling your story, how did that start to shift things for you? And you got just so many more interactions, right? Am I right on that as you're on your timeline?
Yes. I think people, instead of it looking like I was a salesperson, it looked more as though I cared about people and genuinely wanted to help people by me telling my story about how this program and how Beachbody has helped me and shaped me into who I am right now, has really made people realize that I really care about them, and I'm not just trying to sell things. I'm not trying to make money on this. I care about their future health and their health overall.
Yeah. And I think that's that's a key thing, guys, is that we're looking to, with our timelines, it's that place of, if you can, share some of your journey, share how Beachbody is relating to that journey, and then just offer next steps. You're not going to be a super salesperson if if you go, hey, there's this great sale on, you got to get me before the end of the month because of this thing, then you just kind of like blew the clout. You know what I mean? So I would just say, hey, join me for my next challenge is starting. And that's not salesy. That's just inviting somebody onto your journey. But to go, hey, Beachbody On Demand's on sale through the end of the month. And hey, it was $199. And look at it. You know what I mean? That's where we start to get in this place where it's like, whoa, woot, woot, woot. Because, I mean, let's face it. There's 5 billion MLMs out there who are shouting out their sales. Order with me to save on free shipping. Order, you get that crap all the time, guys. I know you do. Ladies, way more than I do. I don't relate to as many people as that, but I know you guys are all in those like circles with between 31 Signals or whatever the bag company is, and like Longaberger baskets and Pampered Chefs and all. I mean, Jude, that's crazy. So now a little continuation of Kelsey's story, which is kind of fun. This is a special guest we have on our call tonight. Very excited. So, Kelsey, I'm going to have you introduce this young lady.
This is Christina. She goes by Chrissy, but she is one of my current challengers, and I actually work with her at St. Joe here in Plymouth. She works in the ER. She's an amazing ER nurse, so I've heard. She has only been doing a challenge with me for 2 weeks, and she said to me last week, she started a week early because she was so excited about her stuff coming in. Started a week early, and she texted me one day and was like, Kelsey, I've already lost a pant size. I'm in a different pant size. And then today she sent me these photos, and I asked her if I could use these, and I asked her if she was okay with being on this call. But she sent me these today, and she said, I can't believe I have lost 16 inches. 16 inches. Like, I was shocked.
Yikes! It's so good.
In 2 weeks. I was like, I had goosebumps. Like, this is crazy.
Yes.
I'm super proud of her. I can tell she's so determined and so ready to keep going on this challenge. Every day she's posting her stuff and she's getting things done. And even with our 12 to 13 hour shifts, and I'm sure ER is crazy most of the time, she is very dedicated, and I'm really excited to see what 30 days is going to have in store for her and the rest of her journey after that.
Oh. So Christina, are you on the line? Can you be on the line then real quick?
Yeah, can you hear me?
You sure can. Awesome. Well, we just want to, first of all, say congratulations for such an amazing first couple of weeks of this. That's just such a great, and would you agree with me? I say this phrase a lot of the times. I say nothing motivates like progress.
Yes, for sure.
Right.
Mhm.
And so when you have that consistency, and we have the 4 P's, it's having a plan, practicing that plan, and then ultimately having patience with that plan. And here's the crazy thing. You didn't have to have a heck of a lot of patience, because 2 weeks is pretty quick to get some really great results like that. You get the 4th P, which is progress, which is amazing. So that's great. Now, so tell us real quickly here. I hear this from a lot of folks, and I think this is a good thing. I'm so busy. I'm so stressed out. This is a busy season, or my job is just so chaotic. And I just want to go talk to the ER nurse. And let's talk about chaotic and hectic and long shifts and that kind of stuff. So how do you make this work for these crazy shifts that I know you work? So can you give us an idea of what your typical week looks like with your schedule real fast?
Yeah, sure. So I work weekend options. So I work every Saturday, Sunday, and then I work every Wednesday and most Tuesdays. Today I was actually off. It's my only Tuesday off this month. But I work 12.5-hour shifts, and typically I go into work actually an hour early because I'm charge nurse and I have a lot of responsibilities to do before my shift even starts. Okay. And so I'm up at 5 a.m. and getting ready for work and stuff, and I just can't pull myself out of bed at 4:30 in the morning quite yet. So I start off my morning and I drink the Shakeology, and it gives me the energy that I need through the day. I haven't really even drank the coffee in 2 weeks. Wow. I've given up sweets completely. I haven't drank any pop, nothing. And I mean, even friends have, the ER is something that you always have food laying around. They always want they bring food to you all the time. And I have to have a lot of willpower and say, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to eat that. And so, yeah, I drink the Shakeology in the morning, and it gets me through my entire day. And usually I take like a fruit and some things with the small containers and stuff to work to get me through the day. And then I come home and eat dinner with my husband and my 2 children. I've got a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old. And then it's time to get them to bed and, bathe and all that. And then I take 30 minutes out for me, and I go down to the basement and do my workout. And I come back up and spend some time with my husband before he has to leave for work. So that's typical 3 to 4 days a week. And then the days I'm off,
you got more freedom there. Sure. That's great.
Appointments and, it comes with home. But days I'm off, I'm typically down in the basement around 7:30 in the morning doing it while the kids are eating. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it is so great to hear your story. I just want to tell you congratulations. I want to tell you also keep up the great work and keep establishing these habits. And Kelsey it was so great to watch as you were just telling your story there. It's like there was like a beaming on Kelsey's proud mama face kind of right there, which was really fun to see. So it's just great. And thank you for that. When we hear stories like this, honestly, Chrissy, right? Is that what you say? Is that these are the type of things that motivate us as coaches. There's nothing, so for just like you said, there's nothing motivates like progress. So like I said, that is also nothing motivates like progress for the people that we help. So there's one thing is like motivational as a fitness person, but as a coach, there's nothing more gratifying than seeing someone make progress. So we want to celebrate that with you. So we're going to open up the lines one more time. Lots of applause today, guys. We got to open up for Chrissy. So ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, hit it. Keep it up, girl. And fantastic. Congratulations for your hard work. Good job. All right. Now, last little thing here, and then we got to hit into, oh my gosh, yeah. I'm going to have to cut a couple things short here, kids. Brandy, I might have to actually delay what we were going to do in a week because I just got to make sure I give Jamie enough time because she's got some good stuff and I want to make sure she has enough time. I do want to remind you, I just posted this on my timeline right before the call. I'm not sure if you saw that, but the sneak peek into Beachbody Coaching is next week at this exact time. So 9 p.m. next week is going to be our sneak peek into Beachbody coaching. So if you have people who are challengers, Chrissy, we're going to invite you. But anybody who has any interest in potentially joining our team and helping others get healthy as well, we really, really would love to have you be part of the Go team as we look to go elite this year and just be amazing. So guys, just look to invite to that, especially look for people who are challenged. But again, don't prejudge your challengers. Don't prejudge. Don't go, oh, so-and-so's so busy. She's a mom and has blah, blah, blah. You would not believe how many people who are like very successful in Beachbody right now, who are those people who are way too busy, who are way overstressed, and they were looking for something different. And Beachbody ended up being a way out for them, for a lot of those folks, okay? Or though they're way too successful, they would never want to do coaching. You wouldn't be surprised, seriously, okay? And I would just say to lead with the opportunity. Don't just lead with the idea of, hey, you can save $20 on your Shakeology. Because if you lead with that as your as the big win of this deal, you'll probably end up getting mostly people who are just going to be in it to get that discount. But if you lead with the sense of, wow, you're making some amazing progress, you know what? I think you could help a few other people, and it doesn't take that crazy amount of time. We would love to have you be part of that experience. And that's a better vision cast. Make sense, guys? Okay, good. So Brandon, we're going to hold off on that. And I did have some personal development stuff. So Jamie, we're going to get to you now, my dear, which is really, really great. I hope everybody got a chance to do their survey thing. Did everybody get a chance to do their little survey? It was short. It was like literally like, I don't know, maybe you had a number of things, like maybe 10 or 20 different things you had to number and get that. Actually, I left mine upstairs. I forgot. Okay. It's okay if you didn't do it. You can still do it after.
You'll have a good concept of it. It'll still make sense.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yep.
So we're going to hop over to this section of the call, which is very exciting. So Jamie Murphy, real quick, Jamie has been has gotten trained in a thing called, I can't even say it, intrinsics without an I in the beginning. So it's intrinsics, which is basically, tell us a little bit about intrinsics, Jamie, and how you got involved. By the way, everybody, Jamie is one of our coaches, so you're all aware. She's one of our Go Team coaches. And but she's also trained in this thing where it helps. Yeah, tell us more about intrinsic.
Okay, so basically, I started with intrinsics a couple of years ago with the basics of the program, and then last spring became a master trainer. So there's only 25 of us in the United States, and basically what we do is focus on it's a color identification. So maybe you're familiar with a program like Myers-Briggs, some of the other personality assessments that are out there. This one's a little bit different. First of all, it's super, super short, which we like, and it's really easy to teach in that way because nobody feels overwhelmed by it. And it's pretty quick to apply. So you usually take something out of the classes right away. Now realize what we're going to talk about tonight is a very small part of what actually goes into all the courses. There's 6 different sessions that are available, and I'm actually doing a session all day tomorrow about communication. So this is just a little touch on that, and then there's a full assessment that's available too. So even if you're curious about what that looks like, it's more extensive than the short quiz that I gave you guys. But if you have your quiz,
I'm going to run get it, but keep talking.
Yep. So it's a good idea to kind of have the quiz. If you took the quiz, it's great to know right off the bat what your color is. So that way this will make a little more sense to you as you're talking. And if you have questions or anything, please jump in, or if you have a comment. It's supposed to be sort of interactive. There'll be a couple times here where I actually share my screen, and you're going to see some different information, and you're going to be asked to respond to it. But we divide it up into 4 categories, and the most dominant color that you are when you did your ranking on your quiz, you did 4 being the highest number and 1 being the least likely to be you. So that column A, you would be a gold. So if your highest score was in column A, you're a gold. If your highest score was in column B, then you're a blue. And if your highest was in C, you're a green, and D, you'd be an orange. Okay. So, Dan, is it okay if I flip over to?
Yep. Can you share it? You see where it says share screen? And then it'll ask you which window you want to share. Look at that. How cool.
Ready to see?
We can.
Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right. So as I said, intrinsics, it's pronounced just basically like you'd say intrinsics. And the reason that it's named that is because we're going to talk about intrinsic values. So basically that means things that are happening internally in you, the values and the things that you really think about yourself and the things that you want in your life are pretty much items that don't change. When I've done this particular quiz, even with as young as middle school kids, we have sort of what I would consider a more simple version for them in the assessment. These things actually end up, even 10 years from now, if they take the assessment again, the values don't change. So behaviors will change, personality changes, and different traits will change, but ultimately what you value doesn't. So that's why this is pretty awesome. Go ahead and click through. So this is just a really quick little quiz. If you didn't do the other quiz, we'll do this. So would you consider yourself someone that's always on time or always late? So just kind of think about that for yourself. Unfortunately, I am always late. I try really hard not to be.
I never noticed that in the gym, at our gym there, dear.
I'm always late. I try not. It's because I always think I can cram one more thing in before I leave to get it done. So if you're always late, usually that's someone that's a blue tendency, which is ultimately my dominant color is a blue. On time is someone that's a gold. Planners and people that are spontaneous, those colors, the planners are gold, spontaneous are orange. People and process. So I'm definitely a people person and enjoy working with people and helping them plan. So the coaching piece is awesome for me and it fits really well for me. And then process. Greens are sometimes very global in their thinking, so they may not always be detailed, but they have a big picture so for the end process. So I also have a green tendency too, that I can see the finish line. It may not be totally great all the time getting all the details to the finish line, but I can see what it's supposed to look like at the end. Think first or act first. So greens always think first, and oranges are spontaneous, so they have a habit of acting pretty quickly and making decisions on the whim. Detail-oriented versus the big picture, same thing. Detail-oriented is your gold. So golds also really value tradition. They also prefer to not change things. They want things to remain a certain way all the time. And so in an office environment, that's definitely something to think about. But even in your families too, you'd be surprised. I'll tell you a little story here in a minute about my husband when we took him through this. It was pretty interesting because he did not get the colors I thought he was going to get. So orange, big picture again, to the point, storyteller. So to the point are your greens, and storytellers, once again, are blue. They're looking for connections. Like I said, those people are, the blues and oranges are people. So they like nurturing. They love to be spontaneous. They're flexible, big picture, storytellers. Your process people are green and green and gold. Dependable planners, private, detail-oriented, and to the point. So I'm just curious if you want to type in real quick. I'd love to see kind of what everybody's main color is.
Mm-hmm. Let's see, where's the chat now? I hit this view options.
Up here.
Oh, I need to exit my full screen. There you go.
Did you get it?
I did.
Okay, so
interesting. This is really cool.
I'm very surprised, to be honest.
Yeah, this is very funny.
So I make an assumption a lot of times that someone that's in a coaching role is usually a blue or an orange because they value those relationships so much. But a lot of our group responded with process. So that actually, when I think about it, fits really well with Beachbody because it is a very structured process of how to get to an end result. The creativity is there if you want it to be there, but on the other side of it, it is a really planned process. So 21-day fix, there's, you know, the whole portion control and everything that's there, and following that process to get someone to a goal. So it's kind of interesting, a little bit surprising too.
Mm-hmm.
So we always kind of go back to, whoops, not that far.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Not sure how that happened. Sorry, guys. So we follow a lot to choice theory, which is, I don't know if anyone's familiar with William Glasser. He actually created choice theory. It's used a lot in behavioral change and behavior model assessment, but we're all, according to his theory, born with 5 basic needs, and that's to love and belong, to be powerful, to be free, to have fun, and to survive. So those 5 basic needs are actually a part of that color assessment, because we know that those 5, some people have stronger needs in certain areas. So for me, I really value 1 and 3. I need to feel loved. I need to feel belonging. I need to also feel free. I want to have fun too, but more freedom is more important to me. So those 5 basic needs fall on different spectrums for different folks. And that's where that intrinsic value comes from. We always ask the question too, does behavior really reflect true values and belief? Not necessarily, because how sometimes I behave at work is not exactly how I feel inside or what I value inside of what I really want to be. So there's times that you flip into different modes and you flip into different colors. We know that your primary color, the first color that you identify as, is your how you would react in most situations. Your second color is influential because it often comes out when you're stressed out or you're in a situation where you need to compensate for something or compensate for someone else. So whatever your second color is, it'll kind of, we say shine brighter. It'll step out when it needs to. Your third color represents the strengths that you can call upon when you need them. But more than likely, they're not going to be something that you can maintain for a very long time. So when you're looking, and we always think when folks are looking for jobs, these assessments are pretty interesting when we have someone go through the interview process and then go through the assessment and their interview answers don't match the assessment. So that means that they're pretending and thinking they can do something for a while, but eventually it's going to catch up with them. And the fourth color is your sign of your weakness. Mine's gold. I actually get the lowest gold that you can get on the assessment, which is a 6. And that is which is your attention to detail. I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in numbers. I don't like statistics. I don't like things like that. I like statistics only when it helps me connect to someone because it's important to something I feel. So if it's anything else, it becomes sort of just in one ear for me and out the other, and it's not important. So the colors do have a pretty wide range, and we see a lot of changes at work to using them. I know with just the folks I work with in my office. We always talk about this too because temperament is, like I said, is that intrinsic value, that those are the things that don't change. Personality and your character, which is a learned value trait. Personality is behavior, and they're influenced by the things that are at the bottom. So workplace, family, friends, society. At all ages, we have different ranges of friends stepping in and being more important. Obviously, in our teenage years, peer pressure. Although you may not value something, you may be able to be convinced to do something else because that behavior is so strong that you're a part of. But eventually, it does go against your intrinsic value. So you can't respect anyone who you don't value. Obviously, we know that. You cannot value people if you don't know them. So this is a big one for me. I really have a connection where I have to know people and want to know their story. But we do that a lot with our Beachbody, even just when we're kind of assessing a situation and starting to talk to someone and opening up conversation with them. Some of the things to pay attention to, and now I'm starting to listen more and use this more, is some of the words they're using. And what we should be hearing to identify what type of color they actually are. If I connect too far on my blue side and shine that too bright on someone, I can make them very uncomfortable if they're a gold, because that feels awkward to them. They're not lovey-dovey. They don't want to hear that. They just want to know, how can I lose the weight? How can I get to where I want to get to and make the move? So their thoughts are a little bit different. So it goes back to what we call the platinum rule, which is treat others how they would like to be treated, not how you would like to be treated. Everybody see that?
Mm-hmm.
So you have all the colors inside of you, obviously. Relationships, freedom, and fun are the people ones. As I said, competence and responsibility are your process. They all vary at different degrees. For example, mine is very high blue, so I'm a 24 blue. When you take the full assessment, it goes up to actually 26. I'm a 24 blue, and my second color is freedom and fun in an overall. And green is my third color, but they're very close. So they're around 12 or 13. That number is really, really close. But like I said, that gold for me is like a 6. It's like as low as you can get. There's 24 different mixtures of the colors to make up individuals' intrinsic values and their assessment. So there's a lot of different options there. And sometimes the work options will look a little bit different than what your overall or home life will look like. I usually step in and I'm always a blue, but my green is a lot stronger at home because my responsibility for taking care of the kids and running the household, that role steps in a lot stronger than it does when I'm at work. Everybody changes based on their environment that they're in. So kind of funny about my husband too, I wanted to tell this. I sent him through this assessment and I have always thought of him as an orange and very, very much freedom, fun. But he is somewhat resistant to change, but I never guessed he would be a gold. And so interestingly enough, because it's my last color, my second color is an orange. So when he gets stressed out, my orange kicks in trying to meet him because I think that's what he is. And so I'm kind of like, oh, don't worry about it. It's no big deal. We don't need to be stressed out about it. Where he flips right into a gold. And I can't relate to that because that stresses me out because I'm like, oh my goodness, why does he care about that? It is not important. It's not, but he wants the details and he wants to make sure that we don't change things or don't change too fast. So it's really interesting to see how once we went through that, when we've had disagreements now, we catch ourselves having some of those conversations just because we never really paid attention to it before. It was interesting too to take.
You're saying, Jamie, that it might even be helpful for like us, for those of us who are married, to potentially have our spousal people go through this kind of stuff to help understand. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just a good way to kind of bring up some conversation that we had never had before. Mm-hmm. And it was basically kind of because we internalize so much and everything really is about us. When he would come at me as a very gold, like I'm more responsible than you. And I would take big offense from that because that would make me feel extremely disconnected from him. Mm-hmm. But really, that's just what he was compensating for because he was also very uncomfortable in the situation that he was in.
And so I would say, like, particularly, so guys, just going to relate this very practically to a lot of us who've, been the spousal question comes up in Beachbody, right?
Yes.
And there's a lot of questions. It's like, well, how much fun, how much is this going to cost? And what are we going to be doing? And how much are you going to make fat? A lot of questions. And especially if you tend to be more over in the blue orange world, those and I know so perfect example, Stephanie's very much in the blue orange world of our coaching team too. And she's like, money, I hope I'm making some, kind of a thing. Whereas I think some of others like Jordan, when she was a little bit more active on her team, but it was very much like I knew exactly how much and that whole side of things, which is funny. And even in our and I love how you said that too, particularly how we approach somebody. And I think just knowing the language, and I'm hoping you're going to get it. Are you going to get into a little bit more about that? Okay. Yeah. I won't rain on your thunder.
No, that's right. I'm actually kind of talking kind of fast. And I apologize, but like I said, it's a lot of information.
No, you got half hour here. Yeah. So yeah.
So I just want to make sure. I mean, one of the things though about this is having an understanding that since I've shared my color with you, so to speak, it becomes a very non-invasive way to talk to somebody. And I think that that's where the communication piece is very easy. It's not like you're pulling one over on someone. It's basically saying, hey, I have learned this and I really want to make sure that I understand what you value. And because now I know what you value, I can respect you for that. And that basically means that I'm going to try to reach out to you in the way and try to help you in the way that's the best way possible to get you where you want to go. So I think that it is great, even like I said, for couples, it's helped us a lot. As you know, my husband too was kind of like, oh, why are you doing this? You're always on Facebook, blah, blah, blah. So it's just kind of opened up good communication for us too.
So based on this, if let's play both directions Okay, so yeah, why don't you keep going here, and then if I have questions.
Okay. Yep.
Go.
Yep. So this just kind of breaks the colors down a little bit more. So these are things that I consider too when I'm talking to someone, and like Dan has given us the scripts, and the scripts are awesome. But when they start responding back and you see some of these same words coming through over and over again, and you have to sort of, I won't say read into it a little bit, but you'll notice that like a gold person, their values are dependability, loyalty, they want organization, trustworthiness. Their strengths are accountability, or being accountable, attention to detail, they're task oriented, and they follow rules. So now we know in our challenge groups, we're going to have all kinds of people in there, and it's going to be hard to like fine tune for just every single person, but it's paying attention to having those conversations with folks and not turning them off from their particular style of what their relationships are built on. So in the communication section too, it'll scroll down here just a second. Your orange, action, spontaneous, informal, fun. These are the ones you want to engage, because if you find that this is their tendency to be this way, then you definitely can motivate them to help carry in your challenge groups. Mm-hmm. They'll be the one, maybe like Chrissy, who was so excited to get started that she was, couldn't wait for the challenge group to start, and you use her momentum in your group as well. And you'll be able to have that conversation and get a good feel for it. I'll send also some other reading for you guys to do after this that kind of follows up and breaks down the colors a little bit more. And I'll have trigger words in there that you'll be able to identify when someone's speaking as to what their tendencies are and what they value.
Yeah, that's huge.
Values, flexibility, practicality, decisiveness, adventure, strengths, resourceful, they acts with urgency, results oriented, and takes risks. So a green person, why are you here? So they need to understand why they're there. Complex, independent, logic, perfection. So they like data, they like knowledge, they're systematic. They're thinkers, analytical, solution oriented, and they see the big picture. So they're great also to incorporate on your team too as well, because they're able to kind of help you solve some of those issues sometimes and tie it all together. How can I help you? That's the blues. They're personal, sharing, sincere, and loving. So I think about a lot of these things, even with our posts. I have probably a habit of tendency being a poster who's more blue, sharing, collaboration and optimism and being inspirational and nurturing. But if I'm wanting to hit all types of individuals out there, I need to use some of those other efforts that are gold, orange, and green, and realize that there's ways that my post could hit some of the strengths of those colors as well to reach out to those individuals.
Yeah. And now realize too, guys, that, and I want probably in that to basically say at the same time, we are probably, just like she said, you can't fake it. You really can't fake it. You are going to some degree attract who you are.
Yep.
To some degree. Now, I'm not saying that that's like exclusively that, but like for like the majority of people are going to have a certain flavor that are going to be closer to you, because that's who you are, and that's why they like you, is that there's a certain similarity there too. And sometimes it can be opposites attract. It really can be. I've seen that too. But for the most part, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that something to think about too is obviously people are going to usually choose, and most of my challengers are people that are, I would say, predominantly, my kind of people, like they have high energy, things like that, are pretty emotionally driven. But it's important too to figure out, if you have the opportunity to have those conversations when you see them maybe pull out of the challenge and they're not as responsive. If there's a stressor going on, then you can maybe tap into that a little bit more, because you'll have an idea of what's really going to motivate them.
Yeah. I think Patrick makes a good point here in the chat. He said, I think there may be a difference between who we are and what color we may expect from others. I'm wondering, I do this all the time, guys, because I sometimes am not super detailed, but what I want people to have a full set meal plan.
Yeah.
I want you to be, you know what I mean? I'm super not detailed, but yet I want you to have like your all detailed food plan, which I sometimes don't have myself. So
yes. Yep. So one of the things too, I use Grayson a lot too as an example. I had her also go through the assessment. And what was interesting about it as well is, as a parent, for example, we project our color on our children so much and don't even really realize it.
Mm-hmm.
We want them to be, to turn out a certain way, and we have all this invested in them. So a lot of my perception of her was just seeing it through my eyes and my color. Once she did the assessment, we're very opposite, which is not shocking, but I guess it was visual for me, and I needed to see it. And that I was maybe not being respectful to that. And so then when I would be frustrated with her, and I find it even with, my mom's been in my challenge group, and I get like really frustrated with her but our colors are very opposite. She's a green gold and I'm very people oriented. And so I struggle with that sometimes, especially when you're close to somebody, you want to take that out on them.
Sure.
So this kind of helps break it down to the orange, like, hey, everybody, let's get it done. Let's do it together. How does everybody feel about that? What are we doing? How are we going to do it? What does it do? That's your goals. And why are we doing it? So those of you that are building your coaches team, and also just our Go Team coach group, it's kind of interesting to think what everybody is and how we're, I think Dan's probably getting help with from green golds with different things for that type of, for example, like the video file and things like that. He wouldn't want to ask me to do that. He knows me. I wouldn't get it done. I'd be like, oh, sorry, I totally spaced it. So, but if you
still have a T-shirt for you, don't I? Yeah, I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I haven't made it over there to pick it up yet. So, I think it's interesting that we talk about it a lot at work, that you can't use your color as an excuse, and you also can't use your color as an excuse to be rude, because there's a tendency, because I, for example, am so people focused, that gold, I kind of look at them as the enemy. And we shadow on that and don't mean to have that shadow. So you're going to have different people, challengers, coaches that you work with, where it's going to be hard to not automatically think, oh goodness, I'm not like them, or I'm not interested in basically what their expectations are. So this is what kind of leads into what I'll attach tomorrow in our files. And like I said, I was trying to keep this right at like 30 minutes. So I think I'm doing okay.
Yep.
Orange is what's in it for me. They want the bottom line, fun and adventure, challenge. How can I help? With the blue, realness, feelings, passion, what, when, and how, priorities, expectations, schedule. And then greens are why, data, big picture, new and better. So what you'll have in this attachment is a series of like 3 or 4 questions that are just really basic questions. Like, what do you like to do? Before you make a decision, what do you like? How do you think about that decision? That was one of our questions on the quiz. And that's already kind of in our script a little bit, but it's just paying attention to their answers to kind of decide, gosh, they really are, a little bit more driven this way. And these are some things that I can talk about. Big picture is helping, someone really see that end result of whether it be weight loss, running a marathon, whatever they want to do. The goal is, we have a schedule for you. You'll know exactly what you're going to do, and this is what's going to happen. There may be a tendency to be like me, for example, as a blue, but their secondary color, as we start talking, I may find that they really are a process-driven person. And so it just kind of gives you a little bit of verbiage to use with them and to keep that conversation going so that they're hopefully getting exactly what they want out of the challenge and the future of whatever they want to do with it.
Yep. And so I think, guys, this is this whole, like, and she mentions like keywords. So particularly when you think about like I would say like an orange would be a good example, but, and then blue to some degree as well. But actually in this case, as I look at it, it says blue, but I feel like literally those words, I feel like that's blue language.
Yeah.
Over versus, I think that honestly, guys, just saying just that start of any given sentence, you can totally tell the difference of a person's viewpoint. And really what happens, guys, when they get into that spot and you are, you just have to, like, sort of, if you start to get a sense of where they're headed with their answers. And that first one, guys, is really important, and why it's important to dig into that why initially. And especially if they go, oh, I want to lose some weight and I want to, like, this would be a good example of how to not. So I want to lose some weight and I want to feel healthier. Very general.
Yeah.
Super general. If that, like, I can't tell a whole lot with that. So I have to dig in a level deeper. Okay, so tell me why, like, so why are you wanting to lose the weight now? What's the, how much of the thing? And then if they go into, okay, well, I'm looking for, and they'll start to develop more of that. And then you can kind of start to tailor. So guys, just being real, one of my key strengths is what's called, there's another whole set of this kind of personality stuff that's called Strengths Finder. And one of my top 5 is what's called Woo.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have the ability a little bit, there's a convincer. Woo means I can like kind of win you over with my ideas. Okay. And just saying that's one of my giftings. But what I am, the reason why it is because I'm listening a lot. Even though I talk a lot, you know me, I talk a lot, but I do try to listen to key words that I'm picking up as that's what this person values. That's what this person values. So I'm going to tailor make. I'm not going to be false. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to tailor make. So I'm going to give a real example, perfect example. Linda on this call right now. Linda, gold. Okay. She just mentioned she's gold. It took her about 2 or 3 calls and so many messages back and forth about to even get to this point right now where she's on the coaching team. But I knew that. And I was okay with that. I wasn't trying to rush her along, like going, come on now, Linda. I mean, this is gonna be fun. You're gonna love all these people. We're gonna have a great time. No, I would say that she might have some people strengths too. I wouldn't call her just only like gold, but I would say she's probably has a lot of those gold things. But I think the cool part is just being able to recognize that and give them that space. So guys, just gonna say too, probably your greens and your yellows are going to take longer to make the decision than you if you were an orange or a blue. So if you get frustrated going, man, I wish these guys would just make a decision. That's why having a list and following up with those people. So I would be willing to bet those people who then are those gold in yellow, or excuse me, gold and greens are gonna, if you do follow up with them consistently and keep up similar, hey, I'm just thinking about you, we have this really great results. Here's some great results from this thing. And it was great. And this person went through our 5-step, whatever. It's like, here's our actual menu. Those kind of things, which would be really helpful. Is there a list of questions for each personality type? Not in our coaching yet necessarily, but that probably wouldn't be a bad idea to create a few questions that might help that way. What do you think, Jamie?
Yeah, actually what I'm going to attach and work on for you guys, it'll be like a series of some just general questions. And they'll be very similar really to kind of the quiz you took, the short quiz. It'll just be sort of conversational pieces. Like I said, this isn't to trick anyone or dupe them into anything. It's especially if you think that someone's a great coach and you see that ability in them, then you do want to have a real conversation and you do want to get to know them better. And you do want to have some strategic questions, to get to the point of where they are so that you know what the expectation is for them.
Yeah, and like you said, so it's basically, it's just really another key to understanding somebody.
Yeah, it's just another tool. That's how I look at it. It's just something else to put in your toolkit. Like I said, there's tons of reading on this, and it's a pretty extensive course. So this is like the quick
30,000 foot level. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really very different, but it's also not anything that I wouldn't consider that that you don't know about yourself. I'm sure it didn't surprise you that your color was the color that you were based on what you are. What sometimes happens is we are very surprised about other people, especially people that are close to us, about what their colors are, their first and second colors. So it's just another way to open up conversation and communication.
Yep. Good. All right. So we'll look forward to that in the group, which is great. I'm going to share my screen back. So first of all, let's give it up for Jamie All, can we? Yes, big time. I will certainly just say thank you so much for your part in helping us just basically understand a little bit more about ourselves and maybe about the people that we're serving. And I say that, guys, very specifically. Hold on, I'm going to share back. Boom. There we go.
Did you get it, or
there we are. Okay, so real quick, we're just going to take, if there's any questions, guys, at this point. Do you have any questions of Jamie at this point? I think several of you said a couple things. Any questions for Jamie right now? We can always hit her up in the Coach Club. One new message. Things are getting interesting, says Linda. Good. All right. So based on this, guys, one thing that you learn, and then having a takeaway. Okay, a takeaway for this in order to use this moving forward. So I'm just going to encourage you, maybe one thing we learned, maybe it's a little bit about you, jot a note down, do something so you can be able to use these things as we move forward. And I know for me, so my particular one is just that reminder of listening for key hints into people's personalities as to what they need from you in order to make these, because really all we're doing, guys, is asking them or being an advocate for them to help them make a decision as to if this is a good fit for them now or not. That's really all we're doing on any given invitational process. So if we can just be kind of stewards of that well, to know what keywords to listen for, that's really, really great. Okay? So guys, next call is going to be on Monday, March 5th, like I mentioned. Our sneak peek is going to be on next week, so please invite to that. Like I said, next call, guys, we're going to talk a lot about recognition, okay? I feel like this is the unsung hero of I think I'm going to call it the unsung hero of the 4 vital behaviors that we have within Beachbody coaching. That I believe that encouragement / recognition is the unsung hero, and I'll tell you why. I keep seeing it over and over and over again. So guys, thanks so much for listening. I'll post the call in the Coach Club probably maybe tonight, because I think I might have some time, or definitely tomorrow morning, and then you can pass that on to people who need to listen. All right, so thanks so much, everybody. Great being with you tonight, and let's go. Woo.